Yo, 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 what's poppin', boys? What's poppin'? What's poppin', Perfecto? What's poppin', Dylan? First one's in the chat. We fucking hear Big Dog the streets. The fucking streets is here at the gym on Demon Time. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. I hit the gym early today, so already got that checked off the list. Already ran Demon Time today. The demons have been exercised. Bruh, what's going on here? Hold up, hold up. I'm not signed into YouTube on my TV. Dylan says, Castro, you still giving out free game. I need to know how to hit up a alt chick or goth chick. Yeah, I got you, homie. What's your question? What's your question, homie? Hit me with it early, Dylan. What you got for me? Bro, why am I signed out of YouTube on my TV? Hold on. Let me just sign in with my phone real quick. What up, Space Kid? What up, Otto? We actually got a decent stream planned for today, so just slow start, but let me do this real quick. I do got some experience with the goth chicks, Dylan. So hit me with it. Hit me with it. Those were my type once upon a time. I mean, shit. Who low key? Who don't like a goth chick? Low key though. Okay, so oh, Dylan says soda pop. What's poppin'? Kevin from Chicago. What's poppin', soldier? Got some meta glasses. Oh, dope. Dope. I love to hear that. I'd like to get some meta glasses myself. What you gonna be filming? There's a lot of stuff you could film. Honestly, the meta glasses are some of my best, my favorite content to watch on social media. I'll be watching like anything from like dudes picking up chicks with those glasses to like guys working at hot dog stands, like doing their normal day's work. I watch all kind of shit on that stuff, or like all kinds of content that's been filmed on meta glasses. All right, Dylan saying, he wants some game. How to get with a goth chick? I mean, man, just a raw question like that, huh? No skin in the game yet. Nothing for me to work with. Just a raw like, how do you get with a goth chick? Shit, I'd say start off just hitting them up. I bet you they're easier than the average chick to hit up. I bet you they're a bit more vulnerable, a bit more emotional. So I would say just start off with hitting them up, bro. They should be down with you. Just express interest. I'd be straightforward. That's what I'd say. Be straightforward. A goth chick should be pretty easy to get, homie. If she's single, you're straightforward. You tell her she pretty. I think your chances are good, Dylan. Simple as that, homie. Simple as that. She'll probably latch on to you, homie. So be careful. But yeah, you could do two things. You could take them on a date. You could invite them over right away. I mean, I'm sure they're cool both ways. Depends where you want to take it. You want to wife her up, take her on a date. You want to not wife her up, shit, invite her over. She'd be cool with both. It sounds simple, Dylan, but honestly, homie, give that advice a try. Try that advice out. I bet you it'll work for you. Yeah, you go, anything that I can get a goth girl's attention, or do I treat her like a normal chick? Treat her like a normal chick. Treat her like a normal chick. Express interest. No games, no funny business. She don't need it. She's gonna be more on the real side than somebody who wants to play games. So that's another piece of advice I'll give you, Dylan. Shout out to Space Kid. Shout out to Otto once again. Otto says, hope everybody's having a great night, especially me. Hope I'm doing good. Shout out to Otto. I'm doing good, homie. Better now that I'm live on stream. Got some meta glasses. Yeah, Soda Pop says, I get into a lot of interactions, so just film my life, you know? Yeah, that's the type of shit I like to watch. All the meta glasses content, it's like lifestyle stuff. Even like one of the things I watch too is people doing sales. Like, you know, people will wear the meta glasses and then they'll sell a product. They'll do the meetups. I'd be watching that too. I'd be watching people work at the hot dog stand doing meetups. I'd be watching it all on those meta glasses. Loris or Lanka Zero. Yo, what's up? Yeah, normal, not like normal. Yeah. Just treat them normal. You'll be good. You'll be solid. Okay, so to get into today's stream, you know, I think you guys can see the headline now. I think you guys see the title. Last night, I said, you know, I'm riding with Khamzat Chimaev. Well, things have changed. Things have changed as of today, as of a couple hours ago, maybe only like an hour ago. All right, now I'm rocking with Sean Strickland, and this ain't no cap. All right, if I can be honest, I do have to have a take here, so I don't know. I don't think I'm taking the edgy take or the controversial take, but maybe I am. I guess you guys just got to find out, but I'm going to sell it to you right here. I'm going to sell it to you right here, right now. All right. So, yeah, I do think Sean Strickland's going to win this fight. I've switched my stance on things. And a lot of people are talking about this fight ever since it got announced last night. So I figured today we'll look into everything, you know, that people are saying about it. We got DC saying they need extra security. We got DDP weighing in on the fight. We got people, you know, posting some clips of Strickland getting taken down at will by DDP in their last fights. So there's a lot of stuff to kind of dive into on this. We got Strickland going off on, you know, Khamzat saying, like, we know why the fight isn't at UFC White House because they don't let terrorists in there. So we'll look at these clips as we get going here. But there's more to this that I want. Oh, yeah, you know, we got Khamzat Chimaev, more training footage. DC saying that Khamzat's putting a bounty on his head for his training partners to beat him up. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of anticipation for this fight. What I got in the bookmarks. Yeah, so you see here, I got DDP. You know, he's breaking two things down. He's speaking on Strickland having a good chance against Khamzat because he's a better striker than Khamzat. Khamzat's, you know, arguably the better grappler, but the thing is the middle ground. Can he get Sean down? We're going to break this down because this is why I switched my pick. This is why I switched my pick. And honestly, why I switched my pick, I think I listened to my inner tuition. No cap, I think I listen to my inner tuition. No, like, trying to be edgy with it. I think I'm really just listening to my inner tuition. I was kind of, listening to what DDP's saying, and I was agreeing with it. And then I just found myself thinking back on Usman versus Chimaev. And I just remember that fight being a lot tougher for Khamzat, right? And then you factor in Sean Strickland. Now, he may not be the best offensive wrestler. And I know Sean Strickland got taken down by DDP, but DDP is better on the feet. He's also super awkward and unorthodox, making it more difficult for Sean Strickland to read him, to walk him down, right? Because DDP was spamming shots and backing up Strickland, and then not letting Strickland get off and shooting takedowns up against the cage and getting them. And hats off to DDP. But can Khamzat do the same thing? Can he replicate it with Strickland? Let's find out. Because Fluffy Hernandez couldn't. And I know what people are going to say. Well, Khamzat did take down DDP. Well, I'm going to tell you, Khamzat isn't as good of a striker as DDP. Can you nullify Strickland on the feet enough to get a takedown? Can you make him uncomfortable enough to get a takedown? Can you back him up enough to get a takedown? Because how is Khamzat Chimaev going to back up Sean Strickland? Imagine it in your head. All you hardcores out there. You really think that Khamzat Chimaev is going to walk down Strickland in the striking department? Wake up and slap yourself if you think so. Just go ahead and wake up and slap yourself now. Because never will Khamzat walk down Sean Strickland in the striking department. If he does, Sean Strickland, I rode for you, homie. Don't you do me fucking dirty. All right? If he does, I'm going to be pissed at Sean Strickland. Simple and plain, I'm going to be pissed at my man. All right? And my hair is looking a little bit crazy today. Went to lunch, did my hair a little bit nice, and I haven't really fixed it since. So, shit, whatever. My hair's just looking a little bit wild right now. I just took a look at it. I just took a look at my hair. It's looking fine. So we're going to look at all these clips right now. My hair is looking chopped low-key. My hair is looking chopped right now low-key. And then there's this other clip. DDP says Khamzat lacks the ability to become a striker and expects the same version of him in the rematch. So, kind of just speaking on it, Khamzat doesn't really have the ability to become a striker because he's so grapple heavy. Can he get the grappling, can he get to grappling Sean Strickland? That's going to be the big X factor. Sean Strickland's coming off a lot of confidence, stopping the surging Fluffy. He coming off a lot of confidence, stopping the surging Fluffy, stopping all those takedowns, popping him in the face. You feel me? Popping him in the face. Stiff jabs. So he got the momentum. And I think styles make fights. And I think we're going to see a Sean Strickland victory here. That's what I got to kind of say about it. Sean ain't getting back up. Is Sean getting taken down, though? Because let's consider this. If Khamzat is forced to panic shoot on Sean Strickland, he will not get him down. That's a fact. That is a fact. If Khamzat Chimaev has to panic shoot because Sean Strickland is walking him down in the striking department, there's no way he's securing a takedown, panic shooting off the back foot on Sean Strickland. How does Khamzat get his takedowns? He blasts across the cage and he takes you down. Sean Strickland has to stop that, keep it in the center, and essentially walk down Khamzat. Khamzat cannot take him down off the back foot. And Khamzat's going to start getting pieced up real quick on the feet. And I could see him crumble. I could see Khamzat crumble in that fight. Along the lines of, you know what I'm seeing, boys? This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz 1 happening all over again. Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz 1. You know, essentially Sean Strickland rocking Khamzat on the feet. Khamzat panic shooting. Sean Strickland sprawling and probably finding the finish somewhere in that exchange. That's what I see happening. Is he going to run the guillotine? I mean, pure cinema. Pure cinema if my man does run the guillotine off of a panic shot from Khamzat after getting rocked. Pure cinema. And then Khamzat spins out the guillotine, right? And then Sean Strickland finishes it in mount with TKO ground and pound. I mean, come on now. But we will see. I'm seeing that finish. I'm seeing that finish in this fight. Mark my words. That's what I think is going to happen. Hold on. And then also, you know, we will be discussing Ilia Topuria breaking his silence on his divorce. So Ilia kind of admits it was a shame to his family. And, you know, the sad thing is that nobody wants to split up when they have a daughter. So it's a pretty short clip, to be real with you. And the other topic of the day is UFC Vegas 114, Emmett versus Vallejos preview. So we can take a look at the Emmett versus Vallejos card, so to speak. We'll look at some other matchups to kind of look out for. But that's pretty much going to be the rundown for the day. I don't mean to always come on and say this. I actually wish I didn't have to come on and say this as often, but not much of a news day. Crazy enough. You know, we're turning lemons into lemonade today for real. For real, we're turning lemons into lemonade. Shout out my my inner dialogue for telling me that Strickland's going to beat Khamzat just in time for me to hop on stream today. So let me you know, we'll also just scroll through some of these current events, like Ilia Topuria buying followers again, allegedly. Lerone Murphy looking shredded. Blueface, you know, he got brand risk 13 coming up. So, you know, tap into this. Feely versus Jose Miguel Delgado. Shout out to Soda Pop. Should be a good fight here. Jose Miguel Delgado got that same problem that Bobby Green and Michael Johnson have, though, which is he's a fast starter, and then he can crumble if he doesn't get you out of there quick. And, you know, I'm hoping he grew from his last loss. Hoping he grew from it. But yeah, these are the other things we'll kind of just look at. Oh, yeah, we got Chris Curtis, you know, coming down from 185. He'd been down at 170, but we got Oralby moving up to 170 from 55. So former middleweight versus a former lightweight. I think it's a fair fight. You know, he was probably oversized for lightweight and he was undersized for middleweight, clearly. So they're meeting at 170. It's fine. Usman suggesting a McGregor fight in 2026. I mean, I don't want to be glazing Buck too hard because you guys do always get on me for that. But it's like, imagine that. Imagine that. Usman gets the McGregor fight off beating Buck. And Buck got all that shit talked on him for calling out McGregor after one of his wins, you know, in 2024. Honestly, I kind of believe it. Kind of believe it'll happen. And that's it. You know, we're not going to talk about Jake Paul. Let me just debookmark this right now. But the point in this, can I just speak on this real quick? This will be the topic, and this is going to be the take. You know, Donald Trump telling Jake Paul he wants him to fight Khabib. Like, homie is senile. Homie doesn't know what the hell is going on whatsoever. Talking about Donald Trump. So, I mean, honestly, what this told me is that Dana White could have put any fucking fights together on UFC White House, and I mean, Trump would have been satisfied. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. He wants Jake Paul to fight Khabib. He'd been retired for like half a decade now. And then Trump was saying, you know, Dana said he's going to have a bunch of great fighters on the card and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, that's your great card, homie. Also, I see Matt Frivola getting a little bit of shit for this tweet, but I thought it was a pretty good tweet. You know, call me crazy, but Matt Frivola says we might need to check if any top dogs signed any insurance policies on this event recently. If you know, you know. So, you know, let's find out about that one. But okay, let me actually read some chats real quick. Of course, Khabib would maul him. M354. Of course Habib would maul him. It was more so just like Trump throwing out the most random ass fucking name ever in Habib. You know, it just shows that he doesn't know what the hell's going on. That was my big point. But I do want to read some of your guys' chats from Strickland and stuff, from my Strickland takes. So yeah, Brian says, dope, Sean, my favorite fighter. I'm going to speed run through some of these, but drop your takes. I'm reading chats right now. Soda Pop says, yo, I just realized press conference with Buck, Strickland, and Khamzat going to be crazy. Bro, crazy. King Green might even call out Khamzat for being boring too. It should be good. It should be pretty good. I don't think King Green can help himself, Soda Pop. I think he most definitely is going to call out Khamzat for being boring. I don't think he can help himself. Brian C., if Sean doesn't beat Khamzat, no one will. I think Sean is the guy to do it. And I think, you know, I don't know. I got that feeling now that Sean is the guy to do it, man. Let's do a new poll while we're discussing this. Khamzat or Strickland? Will Khamzat defend his title, or will Strickland become a 2-time UFC middleweight champion? You know, everything Strickland been through in his life. Shit, I'm rocking with Strickland, man. Rocking with Strickland. Everything he been through, becoming a 2-time UFC champion, magical. Okay, let me keep scrolling here. Khamzat will give Sean flashbacks of his daddy, says AI 2A. Sean, big Dundaughter, big up. What up, Dundaughter? Good to see you in here, homie. AI 2A, Sean with his little jabs. I mean, they're not little jabs now. I mean, they are they are little jabs, but they're not at the same time. Brian C says, if Sean gets taken down, he will stand up, and that will get Khamzat tired. Sean has the better cardio. I like that. Yeah, you know what? Sean does have the ability to stand up better than a DDP. And let's just see it. Let's just see it. But that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna side with that take. You know, Sean Strickland, he does have the ability to get up more than a DDP. So I like that, Brian C. I think that is a good take, homie. AI2A, Sean ain't getting back up. I think he is. AI2A, Khamzat is a better striker than Alex Bumaton. Fuck no, he's not. You got MMA twisted, homie. Soda Pop says, can't wait for Buck to cook Khamzat and Strickland at the presser, and King Green to call out Khamzat for hugging 24/7. What I will say is Joaquin should stay focused on his opponent. If he wants to call him out, go ahead. But you know, he's been out for a long time, right? It'll be essentially 11 months. 11 months since he's been in that cage. And he got a tough matchup because they threw him another grappler. So, you know, what I would say for Joaquin is don't even trip about Khamzat and Strickland. They're not even in your weight class. If you really are feeling yourself and super confident, okay, I'm not going to stop you, but maybe lock in on the opponent on this fight week. I know that, you know, Strickland and Khamzat being at the presser is going to be very enticing, right? To get them numbers, to get them reposts off calling them out, but I would just hold off on that. I would just hold off on that if I was Joaquin. Now let Bobby Green call him out. Bobby Green got a less high profile fight. Let him call him out. AI2A, buddy Sean, little jabs ain't doing nothing. We will see. Khamzat was better cardio than Merab, and he's a better striker than Alex. Bro, literally all these things that you're saying about Khamzat are wrong. He does not have better cardio than Merab. He's not a better striker than Alex. And I mean, honestly, it's kind of making your argument for Khamzat pretty bad. I mean, Khamzat has better cardio than Merab. He got tired against fucking Usman and Gilbert Burns. What are you talking about? Like, what on God's green earth are you talking about? Better striking than Alex? Please, bro. You're out your damn mind. It's of my belief that fucking Khalil has better striking than him, but Khalil's like fucking taking the back seat to Khamzat for whatever stupid ass reason. You know, there's some like little retarded ass respect factor there with Khalil and Khamzat. Best believe Khalil can box the head off of Khamzat. Best believe. He playing himself. Khalil playing himself against Khamzat. And I'm sick of seeing it. Space Kid says, for real. Kevin says, Sean is our leader. Dylan says, to add on to your point, I can see Sean Strickland coming a lot bigger than Khamzat on fight week. Yeah. I think Strickland does get bigger than Khamzat. So there are little differences, you know, Strickland and DDP, you know, who's the bigger guy on the night of the fight? Is it Strickland? Is it DDP? Maybe it's probably Strickland. Strickland is a thick ass dude, bro. Like a hillbilly thick. Different type of thick. I know that DDP kind of big and ripped too, but you know, DDP, he got kind of like smaller legs. When you see Strickland get big, I mean, you can see it in the fucking, he gets like cankles borderline. So Strickland, he kind of thick. No Diddy. So I guess, you know, for Khamzat, I know that Strickland lost to DDP. DDP took down Strickland and Khamzat dominated DDP in the grappling. But I would say, right, watch for Strickland to be able to stand up in the fight and watch for Strickland, you know, to be a bit bigger than Khamzat in there. Khamzat's used to be in the weight bully. Let's see. Let's see now. Those are two different X factors. That's why MMA math doesn't always work, because there's small intangibles like the two I just listed, right? Sean Strickland's frame versus DDP's frame. That does have something to do with things. Sean Strickland, great defensive wrestler. His specialty, he like a 5-star defensive wrestler. And, you know, got the jiu-jitsu black belt. Doesn't ever really get held down. Let's see it. Soda Pop says, I'm going to tell you what fights to watch for a Vallejos card. Perfect. We're going to get into it. Kevin from Chicago, there's news every day. Gut check. Sean Strickland loses to bums. Nick Diaz will coach Strickland for Chimaev. That would be dope to see. Nate Diaz, a bum. M354 says, Nick will teach Strickland how to aura farm as an antisocial element without opening his mouth as much. That's hilarious. AI2A, Nate Diaz loses to bums and he fights people like Conor, junkie ass. Holy moly, AI2A. Who pissed in your Cheerios today, homie? Tuxedo with the $2 dono. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much, homie. He says, come shot will lose. Yeah, come shot gonna lose. We can all see it now. We can all see it now. Look at that poll. 61%, way different than yesterday. Way different than yesterday. I forget what the poll was yesterday, but that's different. Cupcake, what's poppin'? Good to see you in the chat. 354 says Buck vs. Cuck is the fight to make. Yeah? LMAO. Okay, we read that one. Cupcake says, I do think Strickland is going to win if Khamzat isn't able to smother him the whole time. Izzy had the most boring fights. No cap, though. Strickland loses to bums. I'm rooting for Strickland, but I think Chimaev is going to be too much for him. M354. Bookmark this video and come back to it after Strickland dethrones Khamzat's soft ass. Strickland KO round 2 says Frank. Shout out to Frank. We rocking with Strickland. M354 says, I want to see Izzy Adesanya versus Buckley more than anything else. Ooh. Shit, Buck says Izzy can't say the N-word. That's some spicy beef right there. That's some spicy beef. He says he's not even American. He shouldn't even be saying the N-word. I feel some type of way about that. Him and his zesty fingernails. Buck got smoke with everybody, bro. Buck got smoke with everybody. I bet you we'll see Buck back up at middleweight one of these days. Give it a year or two. Cupcake says, if Khamzat win, finna be boring as fuck, and that's another blow to the sport and its entertainment value. That's why Strickland gotta win it, and he will. It's written in the stars. Frank says Strickland will piece up Chimaev. Chimaev couldn't outstrike Gilbert Burns. Sean's on a way higher class of boxing and wrestling. Exactly. You know, like I said, once you really dive into this fight, and if you got the lore for Sean Strickland and Khamzat Chimaev, it's actually a pretty easy fight to pick. Call me crazy, boys, but it's actually a pretty easy fight to pick if you tap in with the lore, bro. Tap in with the lore, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, you know. And I get it. You know, MMA math will steer you wrong because guess who beat Strickland? Also, Kamaru Usman back in the day beat Strickland, but this a different Strickland. You know, this a different Strickland with different confidence, right? Evolved skill sets, up a weight class. We all saw what happened with Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway at 45 and the difference at 55 years later after becoming a champion, after restoring confidence. So, you know, there is a lot of lore here, a lot of lore. And if you're tapped into it, I think you might find yourself picking a Sean Strickland. Come May 9th, I think you might find yourself picking a Sean Strickland. Keep voting up that poll. 61% say Khamzat. Should I just voted on it myself? I picked Strickland. Buck is a bum, America first. Give me a 4x4 from In-N-Out. I'm a weight bully. America first coming in hot today. M354 saw Nate Diaz wanted no part of Gabby Garcia. Maybe Nick Diaz versus Gabby and Ryzen would be a good match. Khamzat and Peter boxing are the same. AI2A, what is wrong with you? America first. I'm missing your point, but I'm sure other people will get it. I'll read it out. Vegas never loses. Same thing happened when Valentina took the L against Alexa. She gave that L. Look how dominant she was against Wei Li. So Soda Pop's telling us tomorrow's card, you can skip the first 4 fights. You'd only be skipping Brad Tavares and Hector Souza. Souza's considered a top prospect, but I think he's mid, and Brad Tavares is like 50, so no need. Okay. All right. I do kind of want to look at the card, but I'm, you know, trying to stay on topic, and I think we will be reviewing the Sean Strickland footage here in a second, so. But after the first 4, you got to watch the rest because they all bangers. Okay, let me pull up Tapology. I guess I can't avoid it. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna miss a women's fight by default. We're not watching it. Luan Lacerda versus Hector Souza. Okay, we'll skip it. Another women's fight, definitely skipping. And then Brad Tavares versus Eric Anders. I mean, we could tune in for it. Just to kind of get going. And then Balaji Oki, okay, you know. Elijah Smith, Su Young Yu, I like it. Vitor versus Steven Asplund, I like it. Chris Curtis versus Mitabek, I like it. Bruno versus Charles, I like it. Umar C versus Eon, I like it. Marwan Wahiki versus Harry Hardwick, I don't like it that much, but shit, we'll watch it. We'll figure out why they're placed so high up on the card. Feely Delgado, I like it. Lemos Robertson, I like Robertson. I think Robertson's cool. I do. I think Robertson's cool. Emmett versus Vallejos, I like it. So, okay, Soda Pop, we on the same tip, homie. Except I might actually go live for Tavares versus Anders. We'll see. JDE says Khamzat will ragdoll Strickland. I give it 2 rounds. Damn. I emphatically disagree. JDE. Emphatically disagree, homie. I know I'm behind on chats, but that's because I'm trying to read them all. When does Yuri fight next? Oh, he's booked for UFC 327 in Miami. Not exactly sure about the date on that. But I guess we're doing a Q&A right now for a little bit. So, April 11th. So less than a month out, JDE. M354 says, does Buckley know that Izzy said he lost his fight to Strickland because he had a deep facial beauty mask charcoal for opening up pores the night before fight and it caused itchy around his eye? Khamzat, too much for Strickland, man. Sorry. Disagree. Khamzat, round one submission. Cap. America First says, Brandon trying to side with me now. I had Strickland from day one. You picked Cumshot. I did last night. I admitted that already. I admitted it already. America First was not in my mind when I swayed picks, though, if I'm being honest. Khamzat versus Usman 2. Nah. It's a middleweight and a welterweight. Mr. Frank. You saw Rahiki fight. He's crazy. You remember? Oh, really? Who did he fight? Oh, he was on Contender Series. Probably why I don't remember. That's okay. I don't remember at all, Soda Pop, unfortunately. Why is Oral by prelims? I don't know. They got Marwan and Harry. They should be a prelim fight. Marwan making his debut. Harry 0-1 in the UFC. Should definitely be above that one. Frank says, after Strickland beats Khamzat, 2 losses for undefeated Khamzat. Miss the Buck fight. You'll get sleepy if you watch it. Buck don't have... Okay. Jacob pull up UFC 328. After Usman 2. Sean Hillbilly never fought anyone like Khamzat. Okay. Mike Coe saying will be a great fight. All right, so let's get into some of this stuff now. Just some of the breakdown of the fight. Some of the talking points that people are kind of bringing into the equation. Oh, before we do, Soda Pop, I can pull up UFC 328 at a later time in the stream. Not right now though. I want to finish up this Sean Strickland topic essentially, and then we can have a bit more freedom. But Tuxedo, thank you again for the $2 dono, homie. Couldn't shit and come back and you still not read my super. Oh, could shit and come back and you still not read my super. Let's make sure I didn't miss any supers from Tuxedo. Nope, only 2 and I got them. Tuxedo, you might have taken a shit and missed it because I read it. Cumshot will lose. I read that one, homie. I thanked you for it. I even liked it. Come on now, homie. I got you, Tux. Okay, so just a few things, right? We got Sean Strickland explaining why the fight with Khamzat isn't taking place at UFC White House. Some young buck interviewed Strickland, asked him a couple questions. Let's take a look.
Coming off a win over Anthony Hernandez. Do you see a title shot at it now?
100%, man. Let's go down. We're going to beat the terrorists. I doubt it'll be at the White House just because they don't like terrorists in there, but that's where we'll be at.
Sean, you're coming off a win.
Shout out to the young buck. But yeah, you know, Strickland saying doubt it'll be at White House. So this was before the fight got announced, I guess. But it was circulating today. And Strickland was just like, yeah, you know, I doubt it'll be at the White House, but I'm for sure fighting Khamzat next. But, you know, probably not White House because they don't like terrorists over there. So fair enough. I mean, you know, his relationship with Ramzan Kadyrov, it is questionable. It is a bit, you know, it is a bit much for UFC White House. Hence why I had to put, you know, Khamzat and Kadyrov here. It is a bit much. It is a bit much. And then we got, you know, DC breaking down Khamzat versus Strickland, saying, I don't know if I trust those two enough to put them together before the fight, saying that they need extra security going into the bout. And on fight week, like, just imagine these two with the face-offs and stuff and being backstage. You know, Khamzat's crazy, and he's not really tamed. He's got that Nate Diaz in him. Now, Strickland, he's also crazy, but he's a bit more tamed. And call that what you might want to call that, right? I know that Sean Strickland's got a mouth on him, but one thing Sean Strickland hasn't done in his UFC career is assault, right? Or get really physical in any way, shape, or form. Unless, you know, outside of a sparring session, He really hasn't got physical with anybody. I know the whole situation with the cop, but you know, in the context of just losing it unprovoked, right? Sean Strickland doesn't lose it unprovoked. He barely really starts shit. He's more of a jokester, right? That's Sean Strickland's thing. He's a jokester. He's not really a tough guy, but he's a jokester. He's a troller, right? Nate Diaz and Khamzat, they're not really jokesters or trollers. They're kind of tough guys. You know, they're kind of gangster with it, right? Strickland, like, he makes fun. So what am I saying about this? Strickland, he does have the ability to crash out. He does. You just don't really see it. It's a bit more tamed. So will we see it with Strickland? Possibly, because we saw it with fucking DDP. When him and DDP were scrapping, we saw it with them. And I forget why that beef kicked off. Something happened with it, though. DDP was behind Strickland. I think DDP was saying something to him, and Strickland snapped. So, you know, Strickland, he actually does have the history of it. My bad. He actually does have the history of it. With the DDP, yeah. Tony says DDP in the crowd. Yeah, I forgot about that one. I did forget about that. But, you know, I do think that was kind of started by DDP, was it not? Should we look it up? Let's look it up real quick since we're talking about it. DDP versus Strickland brawl, right? Let's see how it started.
This is what happens when you act tough in public, but get humbled in the cage. Right before his title defense, Sean Strickland walked into a UFC event like it was just another night, unaware that Dricus du Plessis was sitting just a few seats away and ready for a fight, even though their matchup was weeks away. Dricus stood
That's
up
what
and
it was. That's what it was. It was that right there. It was the face off with me eye to eye, and Strickland called him out to a fade instead. He said, fuck the face off. Get out the way. We can swing right here. So again, you know, Strickland was keeping his cool, but DDP waving him on face to face. Let's do it. Strickland said, I ain't with that zesty ass shit. We finna throw down. We finna throw down. Get out the way, little girl.
Strickland to throw hands on the spot. Strickland snapped, calmly asked the woman between them to move, and charged straight at him. But Dricus wasn't backing down. And just days later, he fired back in press conference.
Gentleman style is crazy. But you know what I mean. Real man style. So, you know, the DDP in the crowd, yes, but Strickland. So here's my point, right? My point was that Strickland doesn't really start these beefs. He doesn't really start a street fight, so to speak, but he's more than willing to get into it. More than willing to get into it, and you saw it with DDP. So we'll probably end up seeing it with Khamzat too, because Khamzat, he more about it than DDP, if you ask me. He more about the bullshit. He's not going to call Strickland to a face-off. He's going to call Strickland to scrap. You know, they're kind of the same like that. So we'll see.
Do you think we'll need extra security for Chimaev versus Strickland? Absolutely. I got to be honest. I don't know if I trust those two enough to put them together before the fight. Because I think they might start fighting. They seem to hate each other and despise each other. And those things are what fights are built on. Those are the things that fights are built on, is bad blood, heat, a true dislike for someone. Sean don't necessarily like anybody, which makes him as fun as anyone to watch. But Khamzat just wants to smash people. Smash. Beat them up, take them down, overwhelm them to the point that they can't do anything. Do you think we'll need extra security?
So yeah, you know, I am in favor of the extra security, and let's make sure that this fight takes place, because I could see Khamzat getting scary. So that's what I would say is, like, Khamzat could get scary and try to get this fight canceled, just like people insinuated about Giorgio and Arman, which I don't think was the case, but along those lines, right? I do think that Khamzat could get scary and try to get this fight canceled. You know, his cortisol is going to be spiked all week. Khamzat's cortisol will be spiked all fucking week. I'd be surprised if he even makes championship weight. I could just see it now, bro. I could see it now. Now, I hope I'm wrong. And these are big, you know, big, bold claims that I'm making. But shit, I'm allowed to make a big claim if I want to. And, you know, for sure, Khamzat's cortisol will be spiked all week long. And will he make weight with that spiked cortisol? I don't know, because he didn't against Nate Diaz. And this is the same type of fight he's going into, a big beef. You know, they don't like each other. And this is Sean Strickland, a guy actually, you know, right around his prime. He's probably like a year out of his prime now, but he's still close enough to, you know, being removed from his prime. Hasn't been knocked out in recent years at all. Barely gets hit, as a matter of fact. So, you know, Khamzat got his work cut out for him. You know, that cortisol will be spiked, and he got nothing to fall back on. He got no, like, oh, he sucks, he's smaller than me, he got knocked out in his last fight. He got none of that. He got none of that to bring down that cortisol, thinking about Sean Strickland all fight week. All fight week, he's going to be thinking about Sean Strickland. Spiked cortisol, going to be thinking about reasons to calm himself down, why he's going to win. He's not going to have any. He not finna have any. He knows the truth, and he knows even if he were to say, but I took down DDP, I'm going to do that to Strickland. In the back of his mind, he's going to say, but Strickland finna get up. I know Strickland finna be harder to take down than DDP. Because DDP not as good of a striker as Strickland. So we will see. We will see. It's just one of those styles make fights. One of those ones. And I'm rocking with Strickland. Going to some of the bookmarks about the fight breakdown. Let's hear what DDP got to say about it. Speaking about their matchup.
You know, I know Imamov and Khamzat kind of don't want to fight each other. I'm not really excited for that fight. Not a lot of people are, but the Strickland fight, I believe I faced Strickland. In the striking, he definitely beats Khamzat for sure. Khamzat, a problem to deal with when he has you on your back. We've seen that many times. With Strickland, what he does brilliantly, I took Strickland down, I think 7 times. The way he gets up to holding him down is incredibly hard. At Extreme Couture, where they train, they specialize in that cage wrestling and getting back to his feet. And Strickland's a lot stronger than people might think. I think he has a very good chance in that fight. You know, I know Imamov and Khamzat.
To be honest with you, he's mumbling a lot. I could barely hear him. What's poppin', HT? Shanko beats Strickland easy, and I'm for real. Bro, Strickland would absolutely kill Shanko. Like, absolutely kill him. Let's take a look at this Assalamu Alaikum edit. Also, Sean was injured. Sean was injured in the fight with DDP. The rematch, I believe. So we will see. We will see. It is crazy that Sean let DDP take him down, though. But with the messed up shoulder, it does make sense. Okay. And then, you know, Khamzat putting in work for the fight. Bro, that's bullshit. Khalil is such a little faker. Mehdi says anyone that thinks Sean will beat Khamzat is just biased. Come back to my pick. Come back to this on May 9th when it's and new. Come back to this May 9th when it's and new. When Strickland finishes Khamzat. Okay, so that's the whole Strickland Khamzat thing. Lerone Murphy looking pretty damn shredded, though. We are rooting for Sean. Facts, though. We rooting for Sean. What's poppin', Gravy? Good to see everybody in the chat. Also, reminder for everybody to like the stream. I did not say that at all yet. So everybody like the stream and subscribe if you're not subscribed. But Lerone looking shredded for his upcoming fight. UFC London main event against Movsar. We got Jose Miguel Delgado Andre Touchy-Feely. Who you guys got in this one? Just drop it in the chat real quick. Delgado or Feely? Who you guys thinking? You know, Delgado, he a beast and a straight finisher.
Our co-main.
I got Delgado. Yep, you already know who we got. Delgado says gravy. HT says, I like Strickland. I don't care who wins. Khamzat gonna blanket Strickland all 5 rounds. Fair enough, HT. You missed my whole debate, but simply put, I disagree. I'm a disagree. But yeah, you'll have to just rewind it. That's gonna be the consensus though for 90% of people, I would say. You know, Khamzat gonna blanket Strickland all 5 rounds. That's gonna be the consensus. I'm aware I'm on an island. But actually, in this chat, I'm kind of not on an island with my Sean Strickland pick. America First says Topuria will take out all his build-up frustration on Gaethje. Another easy fight to pick. That one is easy. Blueface, you know, he gonna fight this dude who is clown. This dude was a clown at the last Brand Risk event. He put on the most bullshit fight ever. Honestly, I can't even get myself to be interested in watching them face off for over a minute. Ilia HT says, let's bet on it if you're confident. HT, let's run a bet. Let's run a bet, HT. You finally, I guess you're waiting for the right one, HT. You can name the number. You can name the number. Are we doing the same style bet for, or you know, dono for push-ups or what? That'll be a fucking sweet win when I get that one on May 9th. That'll be a sweet win. What's funny is I almost want to say I'm tempted to tell you, HT, shit, I'm gonna take that bet, but shit, I want a double or nothing too. I want you to also place a bet with me on Buck versus Brady. For all that spice you guys were talking last night. A lot of things said about Buck, but one thing that wasn't said about Buck last night, that he finna lose to Brady. A lot got said about Buck last night. None of it involved him losing to Sean Brady on May 9th. In fact, I was asking people, you know, let's bet. Let's bet. And no one wanted to take that bet. No one wanted to take that damn bet. So now it's Strickland. Now HT want that bet. I guess HT thinks Buck's gonna win. Money for money. Money for money. Let me think about it, HT. Let me think about it. What do we do? Just like Zell it or something like that? Soda Pop says top 5 Apex cards of all time tomorrow. NGA wants to fight Islam but complains about money. What a bum duck. Oh. I mean, bro. The UFC has a lot of fans so brainwashed. Like, Ilia's allowed to fucking negotiate. The UFC should pay him. That's what I have to say about that. Ilia's totally allowed to negotiate. Now, Ilia, he got, I don't know, he's getting accused of botting followers again. I don't know why people care a lot about Ilia's situation with this. I mean, I don't think he's bought followers, but I don't know. I don't know. All these people do have 0 followers and shit, so I guess he is. Is his management doing it? Are they Spanish people doing it for him? I have heard that he might not be the one buying, you know, the bots, the fake followers. Like other people can do this on your behalf. Yeah. And then speaking of Ilia, here's him talking on the divorce. I mean, we already kind of been through it. But, you know, essentially he says, yes, I would say it was a disappointment. No one wants to break up with their family, especially when you have a daughter at home. That's literally what it was. HG says, betting push-up is too easy for you to bet. It's just push-ups. When it comes to money, it will make you less confident to bet. No, it's not that. It's not that. It's more so, sounds weird, but it's just more so like Zelling or Venmoing you guys. Like, is that like, seems a bit like, it seems a bit much. It just seems like a crossing a barrier. Can't really explain it. But, yeah, the Zelle and Venmo, that's more so what I'm worried about. I could care less. Oh, you can pal me into my crypto account. Yeah, I'll consider it. I will consider it. But this is the Ilia thing. America First says, y'all idiot bums have that Dana mentality. Fight for peanuts. Ilia, as any smart fighter would, wants to get paid in case of suffering an injury. Besides that, belt demands higher pay. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The UFC does have a lot of fans brainwashed, bro. That's why it had to be said. That's why it had to be said. Space Kid says no words, LOL. Damn, AI says Ilia is the #1 duck for real. Duck arm on it. Islam, also Evloev. AI, Ilia is a pathetic excuse of a champ wants to fight old people for real. Nah, that's cap on Ilia, bro. You tripping. Is Ilia the same guy who has to vacate the belt if he fights Arman? He did say that, didn't he? He said something along those lines. AD says, what's up, Jacob and crew? What's poppin', AD? What's poppin', homie? Over here, honestly, there's not much else poppin'. But let's hear Conor McGregor roast Usman. It's just like the sucky thing is that you know, all these topics that people are posting about today, there's nothing to be said about it. There's just nothing to be said about it. Like, you know, Usman hinting at a McGregor fight. It's like, what are we going to say about it? Ilia speaking about his divorce. What are we going to say about it? We've already broke down UFC Vegas 114. But I don't know. Do we got a lock on this card? Anybody got a lock on the card or what? Trying to scope for a lock. They're all good fights. Very evenly matched. If anyone's got a lock of the night. HG says, I feel you won't bet me now. Khamzat versus Strickland. I take Khamzat. I still bet you the Buckley versus Brady. I take Brady too. HG wants to fucking... HG on these bets right now. Well, you know, HT, I'm not really feeling the bets right now, but let me warm up to it. But right now I'm not really feeling them. So that's what I would say. Not really feeling them. I don't want to turn this into like, you know, money for money every time type of thing. Just because that can get a slippery slope. You know, the donos for push-ups, that's kind of fun. But you know, let's hold off on betting for now. Delgado lock. Delgado is a lock, I think, in my opinion, as well. I'm trying to see what other, like, these are close fights. Chris Curtis versus Mitabek Orobai. That's a close ass fight, bro. Who you guys rocking with in that one? Vitor Petrino versus Steven Asplund. I guess this could be like a wake up call for Steven Asplund. But Vitor, he's also slipped in the UFC as well. Su Young Yu and Elijah Smith. This might be the lock. But, you know, Su Young Yu, he undefeated in the UFC. Kutalaba and Orobai for real. Okay. Tyler Betts in the chat. What Tyler Betts say? No lock, but the three dogs barking are Curtis, Hughes, and Lemos. Oh, shit. Okay, we got three dogs barking. I like that. I like that. The three dogs barking. Lemos, Chris Curtis, and who? And Hughes. Sam Hughes. Okay. All right. Well, there you have it from Tyler Betts. Shout out to Tyler Betts. Khamzat would take out Strickland if it gets to the ground. Yeah, we were talking about that AD kid, and honestly, don't underestimate Strickland's ability to stand up. I know that DDP couldn't really get up, but that doesn't mean Sean Strickland won't be able to. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that fight plays out. Frank says Arman or Islam would dominate Ilia. Conor would outstrike and wrestle him too. Conor had a good fight with Khabib, amazing grappler. He would Ilia right now. Frank, I mean, kind of confusing. Arman or Islam would dominate Ilia. Conor would outstrike and wrestle him too. Conor had a good fight with Khabib, amazing grappler. He would Ilia right now. So you're saying Conor would beat Ilia as well? Bro, Ilia would beat the shit out of Conor. Like, beat the dog shit out of him. And Khabib, yeah, Khabib might be able to beat Ilia. You know, he might be able to. But Ilia, or Khabib got outboxed by Michael Johnson. What do you think Ilia would do to him on the feet? You know, Khabib better get that takedown. Not saying he wouldn't be able to. But the striking on the feet would be tough. Kutalaba and Orobai are the locks for Tony. Saxby, am I the only one that feels like MMA is dead? Not at all. Not a lot are calling as it is. No, Saxby, that's a problem. That's a problem. You know, MMA been dead in 2026. And, you know, it started in 2025. The writing was on the wall in 2024. MMA been dead in 2026. It started in 2025, and it was on the writing was on the wall in 2024. The writing was on the wall. Dylan says not a lock, but Chris Curtis versus Orobai is a betting trap. Should be a pick 'em fight. Yeah, I would not bet on that one. But I guess if Chris Curtis is plus 275, that's too steep, right? Mitabek a minus 350 favorite. You got to bet on Chris Curtis. I see what Tyler Betts means now. The dogs are barking. I see what he means. Chris Curtis is straight barking right now. Mehdi says Ilia is just clout chasing Islam. He keeps attaching his name to Islam to build hype. Bro, I think that you Islam fans are just like so I don't know why you guys are getting like in your feelings so much. Like, bro, it ain't nothing personal. I don't know. What, because Ilia said this? Ilia said this, saying that Justin Gaethje's going to have to take an ass beating because Islam ducked him. I mean, guys, if you guys, this is what everybody seems to be keeping going back to. So, I mean, let's break this down and let's find our way through this narrative. All right, let me help you guys out. Find your way through this narrative right now. There's a few things at play here. One, okay, Ilia Topuria was offered Justin Gaethje or Islam Makachev for UFC White House. Right? Ilia Topuria said, "Give me Islam Makachev." The UFC came back with a number allegedly, and Ilia Topuria said no to that number. Now, everybody's taking it literal that Ilia Topuria said no. You know, I mean, he said no, but he wanted to keep negotiating. So whether or not they said no and offered the UFC another number, right, or they said no and then they were waiting for the UFC to come back, point blank period, when Ilia Topuria denied the money offered for the Islam fight, that wasn't saying no to the fight. That was negotiating. If the UFC really wanted that fight, they should have came back with a bigger number. But they're too cheap to do that because they're taking an L on UFC White House because they're giving away 85,000 free fucking tickets at an event with no fucking venue, right, for Donald Trump's fucking B-Day. Mr. Donald Trump. All right, so you guys need to understand that. Like, Ilia Topuria, he said no. His manager said no because the UFC was trying to lowball him. And he ain't doing that, bro. Get that through your heads first and foremost. Okay, then the UFC came back, and they didn't come back with another number. They said, scratch that. Islam's injured. We're going to do Justin versus Ilia instead. So based off of that timeline, all right, the only person who said no to the fight is Islam. That's the only person who said no to the fight. He got a hand injury, and he's not able to sign on the dotted line 3 months out from the fight. You know, I don't know when his last fight was, Islam's last fight. You know, what was it, December or October or something? So, I mean, it's really not that hard, guys. It's not that hard to kind of see through. Talking about, you know, Ilia, blah, blah, blah. There's a reason why Ilia is saying what he's saying. Because Islam said he had a fucking hand injury. You know, his last fight was in November. It's been 4 months. Homie's done with Ramadan. Now he's delaying it again over a hand injury. It's low-key pathetic. And before anyone wants to shoot Islam the benefit of the doubt, fuck that. Fuck that. These guys are too inactive to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're out over all this shit all the time. You know, Islam was offered a fight after his win over DDP, and he didn't take it. Forget who that was against, but Islam's been offered another fight too. He turned down that one. Now he turning down this one. I forget why he turned down that one fight, but he was offered a fight and he turned it down after his win over DDP already. Anyone wanna bring in some context on that one? Islam was offered a fight after he beat DDP and he turned it down for some reason, or Habib turned it down, somebody turned it down. Ilia was going through a divorce. That shit's all played out in the public eye. Where's the x-rays of Islam's hand? Homie's out shooting guns, riding at top speed on his horses, like doing everything under the sun. But his hand is broken. Saxby says Ramadan is not over, brother, 7 days. But you understand my point. You know, it's time to move on to the fight now. 7 days is 7 days, right? The fight was announced yesterday. Or sorry, no, the Strickland versus Khamzat fight was announced yesterday. The other fights were announced on Saturday. So, you know, about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks. But it doesn't even matter, bro. It doesn't even fucking matter. 12 weeks for a camp. You could take the first 2 off for Ramadan. Or just start training. Bilal does it. Bilal literally does it. Start getting, you know, your body tuned up. America says, LOL, I'm getting Brandon Royd. America first. I don't even know if it was you, homie. It might have been you. But it's more so AI and Frank, I believe. I believe AI and Frank got me to, oh no, AI and Medi. AI and Medi got me to crash out because they're saying a lot of stuff. Yeah, Ilia's just clout chasing Islam. He keeps attaching his name to Islam to build hype. That kind of thing. That's why I crashed. UFC are giving so many guys unlimited title fight, but never tried to make Islam versus Conor. Bro, we need to make Islam versus Ilia, but Islam's ducking him because he got a broken hand. Literally been 4 months since his fight. He got a broken hand that he's using as the excuse not to fight Ilia in June. Like, bro, what is going on? You know, just too inactive. Too inactive. Tuxedo, thank you for the $2 donut, homie. Islam is killing the sport. On top of his inactivity to speak on killing the sport, yeah, you know, he inactive, and then when he steps in the cage, he does what he did against JDM. It's like, oh my gosh. AI Ilia is a Conor wannabe. Yeah, you're right. You are right about that. But I'll take it a step further, AI. Ilia, yeah, sure, he did copy Conor a lot, but guess what Ilia also is? Ilia is essentially you know, what Conor McGregor wishes he really was. You know, Ilia truly is the best. Conor, he was the best at a point in time, but there were people on the roster that could probably beat him in the respective weight classes. You saw it as soon as he ran into Khabib, right? At 155. Yeah, he beat Eddie Alvarez. But at 155, there was a lot of guys who could have beat Conor. Nate Diaz was one of them, right? Ilia Topuria, he's what Conor wishes he was. And I know Ilia is a Conor wannabe. I know he is a Conor wannabe, but guess what? He's not only Conor, he's better than Conor ever was. Better than Conor ever was. Yeah, he did copy him, but he's better than Conor ever was. There's no offense that I mean, I won't take offense to any of it. It's more so me just explaining to you guys. But yeah, there's no problem with you saying that Ilia is a Conor wannabe. I fully recognize that, and yeah, I accept that as well. Shit, give me a minute, boys. Give me a minute. I need to go fucking answer a phone call real quick. Give me like 2 minutes and I'll hop back on here. Drop some questions in the chat if you want me to answer it, because I don't got much else to talk about. Who would you say is Ilia's Nate Diaz? I mean, it would be Arman or like Islam. Those are the two toughest matchups for Ilia. The two biggest question marks are Islam and shit. Space Kid says smoke, haha, and that just completely took away my thought. No, I'm not gonna smoke. I would tell you guys. I don't got a problem telling you guys if I was or not. Yeah, Ilias Nate Diaz is like Islam or Arman. Give me 1 minute. 1 minute. All right, we back. We back. Juice Man says Justin for the win. Shout out to Justin. I did fix the hair a little bit. It was looking too crazy for me. We're gonna hop off stream too. My hair getting too crazy. Probably a sign to hop off stream. All right, whatever. It's just a me thing. All right. Do you think Justin can submit Ilia? What the hell? His first submission win of his career is gonna come against Ilia. Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Oh, Sally, drink duck nut. Marab only fights injured fighters. It's pathetic. How's your dating life, Castro? Shit, my dating life good, homie. My dating life good. I got a little golden retriever, Dylan. I got a little golden retriever. So, dating life good. Dating life good, homie. Non-existent, says America First. No. I mean, my dating life exists. But yeah. Islam English is so much better than Ilia. What the fuck? AI2A is just like the biggest Islam meat rider I have ever seen in my life. That's okay. I kind of like it now. Juice Man says, Castro, like I'm busting, don't trip, LMAO. It's like, shit, I'm getting it in, homie. I'm getting it in. I think that's what you want to know, so shit. Yeah, I'm getting it in. Shit, we be getting it in, homie. We be getting it in. We be cracking. You already know, Dylan. That was too good. Shout out to Dylan. Stay for another hour, says Brian. Homie, we don't got much to talk about, but I mean, I'll stay on for while we're talking. Mehdi says Ilia only wants to fight Islam at 170 because he has nothing to lose. Why do you guys come up with these narratives? Like he only wants to fight Islam at 170 because he has nothing to lose there. Like what, bro? What the hell are you talking about? He wanted to fight him at 155, but Islam went up. Are you guys that mad? Because I don't want to get on you guys too much, but it's like you guys are mad as fuck that Ilia keeps getting dubs on Islam because you guys keep bringing up these things that are like actually copes for Islam. Like saying Ilia only wants to fight Islam at 170 because he has nothing to lose is such a cope. It's insane. Like it's cope maxing at its finest. Ilia wanted to go to 155 and fight Islam. Islam moved up to 170. Ilia's willing to move up to 170. Islam's got a hand injury. Like what the hell? And now it's like Ilia only wants to fight Islam at 170 because he has nothing to lose. Like the Islam Makachev like apologists or like crybabies are insane. Like what in the world, bro? Why is it so like poor me? Like, oh my God, he's doing me dirty. He wants to fight me at 170 because he has nothing to lose. Like that's like so like victim mentality. It's insane. The victim mentality for Islam Makachev is insane. Ilia only wants to attach his name to Islam because whatever the reasoning is that I can't even remember. Because it just didn't make any sense to me. Ilia's trying to give the fans the fight that we all want to see. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to give the fans the fight we all want to see. He's trying to be the guy. He's trying to beat the guy to become the guy. There's two top dogs in the promotion right now. He wants to take them out. There can only be one Highlander, Mr. Mehdi. There can only be one Highlander. That's Ilia Toporia's mentality. It's not about trying to attach him to Islam's name to get his clout and attention. It's not about, fighting him at 170 because it's a free roll. It's because there can only be one Highlander. They say Islam Makachev is the best. He comes from the Caucasus Mountains of Dagestan. They say Ilia Topuria is the best. He comes from the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia. Shit, there can only be one Highlander, motherfucker. There can only be one. And that's what it's about. And Islam is ducking. Islam went up to 170, and he just ducked the UFC White House card fight, bro, because of a hand injury. Like, what in the world? But thank you, Mehdi. Thank you, Mehdi. That gave us a little bit of entertainment. So much love, homie. Honestly, you know, much love. I appreciate the comment. I appreciate you giving me something to speak about. Speak your minds, boys, because the more you speak your mind, you know, the more we can have conflicting thoughts. Or, you know, that's what's important is you guys speak your mind in the chat, regardless of what I will have to say about it. You guys should be speaking your mind freely. Soda Pop says UFC 327, Van and Pico, 328, Buck and King. Can't wait. Yeah, I'm looking forward to them. UFC 328. Soda Pop did ask me to bring that up earlier, so I can. This is the UFC 328 card right here. Strickland, Chimaev, Volkov versus Waldo Cortez, Sean Brady, Joaquin Buckley, Blachowicz versus Bogdan, King Green versus Jeremy Stevens, Atiba versus Ozzy Diaz. Honestly, I don't even know who Ozzy Diaz is. And yeah, UFC White House is better than this one, clearly. But, yeah. Dylan asking, thoughts on brand risk 13. My thoughts on brand risk 13. What is that, Blueface and shit? I think it's cool. I think it's cool. The only fights I really seen on there are Blueface and Super Hot Fire. I guess Super Hot Fire got an opponent that's pretty popular, but I don't know him. Not familiar with his work. Fred Talks Fighting or something, if I'm not mistaken. It'll be all right, Dylan. Honestly, I'm not too hyped on it. Blueface was supposed to fight like 2 guys. This is the 3rd option. Blueface was supposed to have a fight with Nick Young. He was supposed to have a fight with Ruga. And now he's settling with this, you know, dude that, like, he fought like shit in the last brand risk fight. I watched him fight on the Adam 22 card. And that's who he's fighting now. And the dude was just crashing out all fight, not even fighting. So it's like, to be honest, Dylan, I'm not too excited about brand risk 13. I was, and naturally I want to be because Blueface is fighting, but he's on his 3rd opponent. It's trash. I seen his opponent fight. It's literal dog shit. And he's so big that I think Blueface won't be able to knock him out. HT says Ilia has no choice but to fight Islam at 170. Yeah, it's super. Yeah. America versus Brandon dates the gym. Space Kid, the stream gets more people in here when you have nothing to talk about somehow. Really, is that the case right now? Yeah, I mean, shit, we got like 40 people in here or what? It looks like we got 40 people in here. Run up the likes, boys. We want 25 likes on the evening. Juice Man says, let's talk about how we could fix the White House card if they called you to fix it. Well, it's very simple. It's very simple. I could tell you guys the fights I would have put on there. America versus Ilya been living rent-free and weak-minded dummies. Only dummies think like that. Ilya has nothing to lose at 170. It's like, bro, what the hell? Like, he chasing his legacy. He's not worried about thinking like that. That's some soft-ass shit. That's some, like, Jake Paul level thinking right there. That ain't a real fighter's way of thinking at all. I want to fight him because I got nothing to lose. Nah, he thinking about the upside. Ilya, the one risky and undefeated record, not Islam. See what I mean? Thank you, Tony. Well said, Tony. Said the part I missed. Highlander, LOL, Juice Man. I forget what movie I got that from, but there's a movie where they say there can only be one Highlander. Useless, what's poppin', Useless? Hair looks fire, bro. Thank you, Useless. I appreciate it. I thought I might be having a bad hair day, actually. Space Kid says hand injuries are kind of brutal to fight with. No. Yeah, but my question is, does he really have a hand injury, Space Kid? Does he really? Does Islam really have a hand injury? He'd be riding on top speed on his fucking horse in Dagestan. He's shooting guns. You know, I don't know how injured his hand really is. He got no cast on it. Like, I just don't know. But yeah, hand injuries are bad. But like, where was this big surgery Islam got after the fight? Am I forgetting about it? I'll take it back if I'm forgetting about it. But where was the hand surgery Islam got after the fight? Where was the reporting about it? All of a sudden, they want him to fight for the second time since getting the title, and he denies it again. He denied it the first fucking time. Okay, he got offered a fight again after beating JDM. He denied it then. Clearly, if he had a hand injury, they wouldn't have been offering it. Now he magically gets a hand injury. My question is, like, does he really have a fucking hand injury? It's pathetic, dude. It's a fucking lie. It's a lie. It's a cope. Dana and Ali Abdelaziz, they were working together. They tried to make the fight happen for cheap with Islam and Ilia. Ilia wanted more money. Dana White went back to Ali Abdelaziz, and they said, scratch that. Ilia wants more money. We're not going to pay it. Just say Islam's injured and he can't return. I think these guys are capping to our faces. Yeah, I'm a jump to conclusions and make assumptions. I'm sick of this. I'm actually sick of it. So that's going to be me jumping to a conclusion, making an assumption. You know, this whole hand injury and the way they even went about saying it. Dana's like, Islam's got a hand injury. Like, it's just so matter of fact. Like, bro, fuck off. Fuck off with that. You guys are colluding together. Colluding together. Ollie and Dana. That's really what I think about the hand injury, Space Kid. That's why I'm not really buying into it. I think it's a load of bullshit. How many more fights is Islam gonna deny before he returns? Princess fucking Islam. I thought Islam was about it. You know, Islam be saying a lot different shit to the media than he does on paper. You know, Islam saying, no, I'm down to fight at UFC White House. I want to fight Ilia. You know, fuck what Habib said. I'm down to fight at White House. Fuck what Habib said. You know, the whole thing about getting offered a fight after he beat JDM, he says Habib's the one who got in the way of that. He be talking a lot like he's, you know, wants to be this guy that, you know, is different from the reputation of the you know, Dagestani fighters being inactive. He wants to be different. That's the image he puts out. But he don't be doing it. Put the pen to paper. All you gotta do, put the pen to paper. If Prayer beats Gone, he deserves pound for pound #1. Yes, I agree, Dylan. I agree. America First going off on Islam. I won't read it. I'll be a bit more nice in the chat. America First. I want Gon to get his eye poked. Me too. Kick him in the balls too and punch him in the back of the head as well. Deserves all of it. 320 is overall as good as White House card, right? I think it's worse. I think White House card is better than this one. Lord of the Pies. I would say that 328 is good, but White House card is better. I would say the White House card is better. Atiba versus Ozzy and Blockowitz versus Bogdan. You know, I think that White House is better. Also, Jeremy Stevens, he got re-signed to the UFC. He's been, you know, kind of like on the downswing for a while. So, yeah, I would say that UFC White House is better. The reason why UFC White House got a bad rap is because we didn't get the fights we wanted, but it's still a good card. I think two things can be true. You know, now that we accept the fact that we don't get certain fights on White House and you look at it again, it's actually better. You know, you're like, why was I complaining? And then you remember, Oh, I was complaining because we were promised certain fights that we didn't get. We expected these. We got honey dicked. But yeah. Bro, you just go off feelings, not facts. No, I go off of facts. You guys are the ones going off of feelings. How many receipts? I mean, come on, boys. I literally present all receipts always. Space Kid says, the only reason I say it is because I don't think this is the first time hearing about his hand injury stuff. All right, well, let's see if anybody else has more context, because I haven't been hearing about shit when it comes to this hand injury. Islam cares a lot about timing. He needs a full camp, but he did deny the fight. Yeah, he did deny the fight. Now 2 fights. Since becoming welterweight champ, he's denied 2 fights. And Dana White got something on his wall saying, like, be like Islam Makachev. A UFC fighter doesn't need to disclose everything. More coping from AI2A when it comes to Islam. Stop it. Islam is not a victim, bro. He's a big boy, and you guys don't need to do this. Like, call it down the middle. I told you that Ilia, right? He copied Conor McGregor. You guys cope every time there's something negative about Islam. You know? Like, just come on, bro. Khabib must have said no. Yeah, Khabib did say no. But then Islam comes out to save face, and he's like, I wanted it. You know, it was Khabib who said no. Then Khabib said he doesn't want Islam fighting at UFC White House, and Islam's like, I'm down to fight at UFC White House. I'm down to fight Ilia. Then it turns out he says, no, my hand's injured. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you say you're down to fight at UFC White House, knowing full well you have a hand injury that won't get you ready in time? Think about this, boys. Fucking AI2A telling me I only go off of feelings. No, I go off of logic, homie. I go off of logic. I got a 6th sense. How does the fucking lyric go? Every time I like a bitch, I find out she a gnat. Somebody called the vet. My dog turned out to be a rat. Okay? Islam being a rat right now. I got the 6th sense. If you know, you know. Every time I like a bitch, I find out she a gnat. Somebody called the vet. My dog turned out to be a rat. And Islam turned out to be a rat low key. He turned out to be a rat. I got the 6th sense. Shout out to Kodak Black. All right, that's a Kodak Black bar. What's the name of the song? 6th Sense. All right, 6th Sense. Let's continue reading these chats though. Yeah, I got my 6th sense on that one for sure when it comes to Islam. Like I said, because I did a little tangent there, let me re-say it for anyone who might have slipped your mind. Like I said, Islam Makachev has been on record saying he's down to fight at UFC White House, and he's down to fight Ilia Topuria there. Came out refuting Khabib's, lack of excitement for him to fight on UFC White House. Khabib shut it down. Islam came back out and shut it down again and said, no, I am down. Then he gets offered the fucking bout he said he's down for, and all of a sudden he has a hand injury. And, I'm the one who people are saying that I'm in my feelings or whatever the case. I mean, make it make sense. You know full well you won't be ready by June, right? All you should be thinking about is your comeback. You're a fucking champion. You have the UFC White House card. You have Ilia Topuria rumored to be on it. I mean, you should have seen it. The writing is on the wall. So I'm not going to buy into this of, oh, I said I was down for UFC White House, but I didn't realize that I wouldn't be healed up in time. Bullshit. Bullshit, bro. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Who the fuck do you think we are? How dumb do you think we are? And I'm not saying Islam ducked him. I'm saying that the UFC didn't want to pay Ilia the money to put together the Islam Makachev fight, and they went ahead and ran with the excuse that Islam got a hand injury, colluded with Ali Abdelaziz. And Ali Abdelaziz manages Justin too, so it's just as easy to make. It's like, boom, we'll call Justin. Ali, we don't want the Islam fight anymore. Ilia's negotiating. Tell Justin he's in. We've done this on the stream so many fucking times, boys. We've literally done this on the stream so many times. One fighter negotiates, and then the UFC says, all right, you're out. The third party's in. And this time, Ilia negotiated. The UFC said, okay, Islam's out. Gaethje's in. on the phone with the same damn manager, the same phone call that they told him the Islam fight ain't happening. They booked the Gaethje fight on the same damn phone call with the same damn manager. So I would love to know the context for Islam and his hand injury. I would love to know it. Because homie was just on a camera, you know, no more than a month ago, saying he's down to fight Ilia at the UFC White House because people are saying, you know, questioning him, saying, Khabib doesn't want you to fight there. And he's like, I am down though. Oh, so you're down, but you aren't going to be able to do it. But you're like, come on, bro. I can't do it, but I am down. Get the fuck out of here. Frank says Justin could have submitted Patty 15 times, never did. Don't count his ground and pound game out because he trains with Usman and is very dangerous. He has showed he can change and go wrestling if he needs to. Honestly, I don't think Gaethje could have submitted Patty. I think that if he went submission, Patty would have ended up on top. Just a personal take, Frank. Gaethje doesn't train submissions. He could have easily like went for something and lost it, and then, you know, Patty's on top now. I think he took the safe route. Lord of the Pie says, bro, you do realize that UFC will send them contracts for fights while they have current injuries, right? Of course. Of course. AI says cortisol is high for me. That's okay. That's okay. The boys like it when my cortisol spikes. So, I mean, if my cortisol spiked, then that's music to the streets' ears. How many one-fight contracts is Steven's going to get? This is probably the last one. Cody doesn't want him at UFC White House. True. Wow, you really are getting mad over the truth. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. You would know if I'm upset. You would know if I'm upset. Am I allowed to be passionate or what? How many glasses of water you drink a day, man? From Tyler Betts. I drink quite a bit of water a day. Probably like, I don't know, 15 or something. I never really counted. But I wake up. By the time I wake up and take my morning shit, I probably drink like 3 glasses of water. Then I'm on stream. I drink a couple glasses of water. That's like 5 right there. In between the day, 10 does not sound, you know, too far off. Maybe about 15 glasses. I don't know, 15-ounce glasses or something. What the fuck this is? Ali does tweet for Islam, but Islam will be ready. I got Islam. America First, see how I don't let my emotions get the best of me. Words are just words. There's levels of maturity, and y'all prove it by showing your feelings/emotions. Yes, yes. And that's why I was calling out AI2A, being like, bro, you don't have to defend Islam every step of the way. Like, I would trust you more, AI2A, if you showed willingness to actually call it down the middle with Islam. But like everything about Islam is a defense for you. Like he's coming from a victim, you know, point of mind, and you know, you should change that. Lord of the Pie is saying sometimes you have an injury that doesn't heal as quick as you think. They never reveal the injury initially. Lord of the Pies, not really sure what you're talking about, homie. Not fully sure what you're talking about. I've said what I have to say about it, and if you still don't fully get it, that's fine. But I will just say that, you know, from my knowledge, okay, there's been a lot of talk about Islam and his next fight, and you know, hand injury is definitely something that should have been brought up and would have been brought up if it was actually in play. So that's all I could really say. He was offered a fight like, you know, he was offered a fight. I don't know how much time from the JDM win, but he was offered a fight within like a month after that JDM win. And, you know, He didn't come out then and say he was injured. He said that they didn't want the fight. It was too quick of a turnaround. They couldn't get into a camp quick enough. So when did he break his hand? Lord of the Pies, you act. I got to say this real quick. I don't know fully what side you're on, and it's all good, but you are almost acting as if, this sport isn't super, super woke and we don't know almost everything. Islam is not one of these guys who can just get away with a hand surgery that nobody's going to know about. You feel me? Just not going to happen, really. If it did, then hats off to him. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Islam is not one of these guys that's just gonna undergo a hand surgery and no one's ever gonna know about it. I mean, there are no secrets. There are no secrets essentially in the sport anymore. We always know everything. Lord of the Pies says, I don't think you're being logical here, man. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Why don't criticize Topuria? Because he will vacate the belt if he has to fight Arman. I think he said that, to Full Send or something? America First says, logic and facts. Brandon, there we go. So, Lord of the Pies don't think I'm being logical, but America First does. Soda Pop says, I'm more of a Chance the Rapper guy. Okay. Chance the Rapper, not bad. Fighters hide injuries until they can't hide it anymore. Lord of the Pies, you say that as if come on, bro. Come on, bro. We're not doing this right now, and I don't appreciate come on, bro. You're ignoring so much in that statement. Fighters hide injuries until they can't hide it anymore. Bro, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Fighters come out all the time and reveal their injuries, all the time, without even anyone asking them. Fighters will go on their own social media, clout chasing after pulling out of a fight due to injury from the hospital bed and tell the whole world what they're going through. I get your point, Lord of the Pies, but like I'm saying, I don't think Islam surgery is one of those ones that's getting, swept under the rug. Dana just aired it out at the press conference anyway. But anyway, I just don't think his hand injury is getting swept under the rug. I think we would have known about it. 100,000%, I think we would have known about it. And why even allow for a negotiation to take place in the slightest? Why even throw Islam Ilia's way if he's injured? You're telling me that the UFC is not going to reach out to Ali Abdelaziz, ask him if they can throw Islam Ilia's way? You don't think that's going to happen? The fact that they asked Ilia for Islam, they probably spoke to him first. HT, I like Islam, but he's chasing the Moicano 2 fight at the White House. Ilia's too much for him. Well, it's gone now. How the fuck Meat Rocket find his way here? Tyler Betts, I'm telling you, Tyler Betts is famous in these streets. Useless bringing in strays. Boys, I would appreciate it. Honestly, I would appreciate it if I could say this. I would appreciate it if you guys would stop the beefing. I would appreciate it if you guys would stop the beefing. We got Tyler Betts, we got Juice Man, we got Meat Rocket, and then we got Useless, all beefing, and I do like you guys being in the chat, right? I would hate to see some of you guys go because the chat becomes an unpleasant place because you guys are beefing. And I mean, I see Meat Rocket just coming out of nowhere, dissing Tyler Betts, and I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it. And that's what I'm going to say right off the bat. I don't appreciate it, and it's going to need to stop. So I'm paying attention now. So whoever's making people feel uncomfortable in the chat, okay, you will be noticed and there could be a repercussion at this point because at the end of the day, I'd rather have the people in here who are positive contributors, however the fuck you say that, contributors. I'd rather have the people in here who are positive contributors. So if you're going to be somebody who's making other people feel uncomfortable, and then as a result, the people who feel uncomfortable are made to leave, and I'm in here with the people who, were the antagonists, I'd rather the antagonists leave now. Okay, let's put it like that. I'd rather the antagonists leave now. Whoever you are. Okay, today Meat Rocket seems like he started something. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, whoever the antagonists are, Tyler Betts, Juice Man, Meat Rocket, useless shit. You know what to do. Okay, I think I said that very fair. And I ain't taking no sides. I would just prefer for the antagonistic behaviors to subside, at this point. Lord of the Pie says, I don't think there's drama to be created here. Islam isn't afraid of anybody. He's already beaten Armand and JDM. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel for internet drama. I never said Islam's afraid of anybody. Lord of the Pies, you're getting it super twisted, homie. And this, I don't know, like, why. This is the same thing that always happens when we criticize Islam. And it's like, bro, I've already told you. I'm not even really hating on Islam for the whole Ilia fight not happening. I said the UFC threw Islam under the bus because they didn't want to open up their wallets for Ilia to fight Islam. I don't know how much more clear I could be about that. They threw Islam under the bus, citing a hand injury because they didn't want to pay Ilia Topuria to fight Islam because Ilia said no to the number offered. So scraping the bottom of the barrel for internet drama. Shout out to Lord of the Pies. Would it be mad if Usman turns down the sequel against Buck? Yeah, I'm not even thinking about that. Islam needs a full camp. It was a quick turnaround. I know, that's what I always have to hear about him. Movistar versus Lerone next week. All right, let me okay, let me read it because you guys are going off now when I started calling out the chat. Let me read some of it. Miko says, time for a group hug. Useless says, the guy follows me everywhere I go like his baby mama, my bad. That's the stuff I'm talking about, Useless. That's the stuff I'm talking about right there. I'm going to be paying attention, so, I'm just going to say keep it up, and you might find yourself having to take some laps out of the chat. I'm just saying. I'm not speaking to anybody directly. I'm just saying, keep making people feel uncomfortable, whoever you are. Right, out of the 4 accounts that I be seeing arguing, and the antagonists are gonna have to take a hike because people come in here to have a good time, and I want to make sure that continues. Yuri says, yes, we need to stop pointing fingers at each other. Meat Rocket. Quiet says, Jacob Ishanko, your favorite fighter. He's my least favorite fighter, and he should be arrested and shit. I'm trolling, but I'm not at the same time. Okay, Tyler Betts says, meat's all right. He just trolls. You must be a casual is his catchphrase, but 100 beef gets toxic. Okay, good to know. Good to know, Tyler Betts. Good to know. Good to know. Meat Rocket might just not be tapped in. Because these boys been beefing for days. So, Meat Rocket, you can discard. I misread it there. But yeah, Meat Rocket goes beefing. I have no beef with anyone. Tyler Betts, do you have beef with me? I thought we were cool. Okay, so, they're good. They're being sarcastic. Shit, how am I supposed to tell sarcasm in the chat? Stop the beefing, hit the likes. Juice Man, I don't know if I read this, but he says, bro, we was good. I tried to tell you about useless. It's useless and his alts. Juice Man says, we was here before that buster and now it's toxic all of a sudden. That is true. That is true. When Useless came in, the beef started happening. Ilia doesn't just get to cut the line to fight Islam at 170. Ilia has no title defenses at 155. Make it make sense. I mean, I'm not gonna make it make sense for you, Aaron. You can ask the UFC to make it make sense to you because they're the ones who offered the fight to Ilia. You feel me? So, I get what you're saying, but the UFC offered the fight to Ilia. So technically he was going to get to cut the line. And so what would have happened if Ilia didn't negotiate and he just said yes? Would he be fighting Islam at UFC White House or what? Same type of thing John Jones said. If I didn't negotiate, if I didn't say no to the number, I would have been on UFC White House. So what the fuck are you talking about? Could that be the same thing with Ilia and Gaethje and Islam's little love triangle? Useless says, I do think Islam beats Ilia. Bro got cooked on panel, was peeing his pants. Don't bring up Ilia. He's breaking hearts left and right on this chat tonight. Yeah, he kind of is. Dude thinks he's a conspiracy theorist. Low-key, I'm a conspiracy theorist. We criticize everyone here. Everyone is fair play. You guys start getting feelings and get out of pocket. Shit, I was going to war with America First last night over fucking my man's Joaquin Buckley. So, I mean, yes, quite literally, everyone gets criticized and everyone is fair play. Even me and even Joaquin Buckley. Shit. I was getting double teamed no Diddy by HT and America First last night, going in on me about Buck. Just defending him left and right. But shit, we kept the feelings out of it. It's all good. I think Islam's too big for Ilia. He beat him, especially at 170. Islam hasn't had any title defense at 170 also, so Ilia can cut in, get the fight. Well, one thing I'll say about the whole Ilia and Islam fight, this is something I've been saying before all this stuff I said today. This was a take that I've had for quite some time. And the take is this. Islam is delaying. This is my honest opinion. Islam is delaying the Ilia Topuria fight from taking place because Ilia is younger in his career. Islam, he got more miles, right? He been knocked out. He got more miles for sure. He went 5 rounds with Volk. Volk cut him up in that fight. Ilia Topuria, they want him to take more damage. They want more wear and tear, and then they'll take the fight. I believe that Islam, he's delaying it. That's why he moved up to 170, so to speak. That's why he didn't stick around for the fight. That's why now he's not really accepting it, citing a hand injury. Or maybe the UFC, right, didn't want to give it to him because of the negotiations with Ilia. I don't know. Okay, I won't fully accuse Islam of delaying the fight for UFC White House. I won't do that. But I will say that Islam is quite literally delaying the fight with Ilia because he wants Ilia to get more wear and tear on his body, and then he'll fight him. Once it gets more even, then he'll fight him. But right now, I think that they see a little bit of a lopsided thing as far as like wear and tear, fighter mileage goes. Right? Islam got like 100,000 plus miles on the whip. Ilia Topuria, he pulling into that fight with like 50,000 plus miles. Nothing. He got like half as much mileage. And I think that's part of the issue, what's going on with the Ilia and Islam fight as well. Him says, Strickland has no cardio for Chimaev. Bro, what the hell, him? Strickland has cardio for days. Chimaev, he's the one who gets tired. You're the second person who said that today. Useless says, I got Kevin Vallejos by KO. What do you think? I got Kevin Vallejos by KO too, homie. I do. And just to conclude that whole thing, the whole beefing thing, let's just do it like this. No more beefing. No more beefing. Tyler Betts, useless, Juice Man, no more beefing. I'm not going to punish you guys right away if you guys beef, but let's really try not to beef, boys. Let's just ignore it. Let's move on. All right. I see, useless. He's still asking questions, so it's a good thing. Let's just ignore each other and move on. No more beefing, please, for me. I'm asking you guys now. No more beefing. I let it go for long enough. But if I'm saying no more beefing, then shit, maybe just consider it. Because, to be honest, I like the contribution all you guys give to the chat. The four troubled fucking, viewers we got going on right now. I like what you guys contribute. Just, no more beefing. That's the last thing I'm going to say about it. When will you debate Dag MMA? I don't even know, bro. I'd be down, I guess. Does Dag MMA want to debate me or something? Or we could do something like that. Let's talk some good scraps. Exactly. Let's keep it fight related, or keep it, say some shit about me if you want to, whatever the case. AI says this isn't beefing, it's a debate. AI, I'm not talking to you. You are perfectly fine. You've done nothing wrong all night. All right, AI? And that's coming from me. I've been arguing with you in the chat the whole time, and I just told you you've done nothing wrong. You have nothing to worry about. I'm not even speaking to you. So, you're totally fine, AI2A. Don't change a thing. Everything you've said, completely fine. It's the other people who are beefing. Useless says, Juice literally followed me to another chat today. That's why he always bothering. I'm done with it, though. Okay, whatever the case. Whoever, let's just be done with it. Everybody be done with it. Useless says, not trying to be toxic. I'm going to drop it. Thank you. And all of you guys, just drop it. Forget who's right and wrong. I'm never going to know. It's over the internet anyway. Let's just drop it. Have you seen his training footage from the DDP camp? And now he definitely doesn't have no cardio. It's much better now. No, I haven't seen the footage you're comparing him. AI says this guy talks about his BS, but when you guys want to talk, stop. You guys are toxic. AI2A couldn't be farther from the truth, homie. Could not be farther from the truth. I don't even care that they're beefing. My biggest thing is, I don't want somebody to not be tuning into the live streams anymore because people in the stream are making them feel uncomfortable. So I could care less about the guys beefing. I let them beef for long enough until I had an epiphany after stream, and I was like, damn, I don't want to make this a non-friendly place, for people to not want to come in here anymore. Tyler Betsy, a big supporter of the channel. He's been supporting for a long time, so I don't want to lose a viewer like Tyler Betts. So that's where it comes from. It has nothing to do with AI2A saying, guys, stop, you guys are toxic. I could care less. Time to relax after a hard day of work. Watch Training Lab. Khamzat and Arma, he trains in Cali. Oh, you're asking me about if I seen Khamzat's training footage. I seen it, homie. Soda Pop's back. What's poppin', Soda Pop? I think I'm gonna hop off soon. Space Kid says LOL. Rahiki versus Hardwick should be fire. I think it'll be a decent scrap. It should be on the prelims, though. Aaron Roberts laughing. Was it that funny? No, I've seen the Khamzat training footage but I would just, those guys got to be careful with Sam Calvita because there is a factor of overtraining involved. And I know Sam Calvita, he's very scientific, so he's probably not overtraining his guys. But those workouts are brutal. Let's just be honest. Those workouts are brutal. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think cardio is going to be a problem. Can I say that? Pointing fingers at, I pointed a finger at Khamzat saying he's the one with the cardio issues. Look what happened with Usman and Burns. You guys are pointing the finger at Strickland saying he's got cardio issues. I don't think either one's really going to have that much cardio issues. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say it. I see Khamzat having cardio issues in there. I see him having cardio issues in there. Why? Because of the mental battles. Because of the mental battles. He's going to get exhausted mentally, not physically. And you have to be somebody who's competed in, sports, so to speak, or especially like a combat sport to understand what I'm saying about that mental side. People get tired mentally. If you panic so much in your mind and you increase your heart rate in there, that's going to drain your energy. And there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure. When they say he doesn't perform under the lights, that's what they're talking about. Your heart rate goes through the roof under those lights. You gas out, you get tired. Look what happened to McGregor in all those fights. Right? People say that, McGregor had a wall, there's a blockage. He gets tired. Not to say that McGregor can't perform under the bright lights, because he can, but I'm just saying sometimes, it does get to you. It does get to you. The magnitude of the moment. Conor's a terrible example. But shit, I'm talking on stream for 2 hours, so, I might have a bad example here and there. But I'll correct that right now. Conor's a terrible example. But I think Khamzat Chimaev will fold under the pressure. And his cardio will take a hit because of it. Yo, my name Deshaun says, we just saw Charles go the distance, so I'm taking Vallejos goes the distance. All right. Shout out Deshaun. HT says, Jay, they have to tune into your stream to beef. Where else are they going to go to continue the beef? No, I know, HT. I know they got to come into here. My worry is, though, this is my worry. I already said it, but my worry is that, I don't want Tyler Betts to stop coming into the stream to avoid, arguing with Useless. The fact that I'm naming you guys off this beef is crazy. But, that's what I don't want to happen. That's why I'm trying to stop it, because I want to keep them in here. I actually want to keep them in here. And I do have a fear that we might lose one of them or two of them. And they'll take their services elsewhere, so to speak, where, Useless or, vice versa. Useless might leave, because Tyler Betts is in here. So I don't want anybody to leave. That's why I'm kind of saying it like that. What did I miss? LMAO. Rewinded about 15 minutes. I feel that. Yeah. I just had an epiphany about it, and I was like, you know what? I definitely don't want to have these guys leave the chat. So Khamzat training his cardio with Sam Calavita to blanket Strickland for 5 rounds. That's Khamzat's plan to win. Definitely his plan to win. Who on the right side is a lock for the White House card? On the right side, Kyle Dawkins and Steve Garcia. They're locks for UFC White House. Kyle Dawkins, Steve Garcia. Bo Nickel already trying to get out of the Kyle Dawkins fight. Saying he'll fight Colby and shit like that. Okay, Useless even hitting me with the true, bro. So, and then Tyler Betts goes, where are we going to go, homie? The Ginger stream? All right, there we go. The boys are here to stay. As long as you boys are here to stay, shit, you can beef if you want to. But at least I said my piece. And I would prefer no beef. Okay, I know I say you guys can beef if you want to, as long as you stay. But I would prefer no beef. I think no beef will be more, for longevity. Too many dudes for this much drama. Soda Pop says, Kyle Dawkins is the coolest white boy. I gave him that nickname and he loves it. That's a good nickname. America First says, save the drama for your mama. There we go. I think I'm done with my depression over the Max fight. Yeah, Obi Chua. Yeah, we passed him. If Max ain't depressed, we ain't depressed. You feel me? We chilling. We chilling. It's all right. You know, Max took the L to Charles. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. America First hasn't stopped rubbing it in my face though. Homie, America First. All right though. Shout out to all you guys for watching tonight. Cupcake goes kind of late, but yeah, Ilia just now getting the whip nice and broken in with a cool 53K miles. Islam got like 112K miles. Exactly. That's a good little reference, wasn't it? And the Space Kid goes, there's science to this. I love it. Okay. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Yo, Gypsy fights tomorrow. You gonna watch? Who's Gypsy? Gypsy fights. I never even heard of that, Soda Pop. What's a Gypsy fight? Him says, I want to see Armand versus Max just to see Max get a beating. Him. Man, I would not like to see that, but that's Max's toughest matchup is Armand. Brand risk. Oh. Yeah. As long, I mean, we'll see. Soda Pop, does it overlap? Does brand risk overlap? Tune in, Soda Pop. I'm sure I'll be covering all of it, you know? Useless says, if you do a companion, I'll stop by tomorrow. Of course, homie. I'm gonna do a fight companion for sure tomorrow. So stop in. Everybody stop in tomorrow. We're for sure going to be doing a live stream fight companion for UFC Vegas 114, Emmett versus Vallejos. So tune in tomorrow for that. Like the stream if you haven't liked the stream yet. On the way out, because you know stream is basically ending, basically over. And subscribe if you're not subscribed yet as well. You know, all the new boys in the chat. I've been seeing a lot of you guys today, so make sure you're all subscribed. There's so many new guys in the chat. I actually don't have the ability to remember off the top of my head your guys' names, or else I would shout you guys out. But like, you know, Medi, AI24, even though we disagree and shit, you know, subscribe. And I think Deshaun's in here. So these are people I haven't seen before. So make sure you guys subscribe. Obi Chua, not sure if you're subscribed or not, but if you're not, make sure you do. And anyone else who's new in the chat. Shit, subscribe. We are live for the next 90 days. We are, I think it's like day 15 or something like that, 16 that we're on. So yeah, 90-day live stream streak. We'll be live tomorrow for UFC Vegas 114. Tap in. I will be missing the first 4 fights. Okay, fair warning. I will be missing. I will be taking a, you know, I don't know what the fuck you want to call it, a hiatus for the first 4 fights tomorrow. We will, actually the first 3. I'll most likely tune in for Brad Tavares, Eric Anders. But if I'm not live, then I'll 100,000,000% be live for Boki Laji versus Manuel Souza. So I'll be live, you know, most likely after the 3rd fight tomorrow. So tap in then. Thanks everybody for watching. I will see you guys all tomorrow. All right. Like the stream on the way out. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Peace out, boys.